Hey everybody, Jokeypants back, and I thought Marabunta would be the worst movie I covered, but then I got, introduced to a movie that I also remember watching all the time on Sci-Fi, that is an actual sci-fi made movie, however you want to put that, from 2004 called Raptor Island, and boy, this one is a hot pile of garbage, but as a kid, you don't really pay attention to how bad it is. You just be like, dinosaurs, and you watch it, and you rewatch it now, and you're like, God, this movie's really fucking bad. So let's get into it, shall we? We have a movie that opens up with a badly CGI'd plane flying in a storm. It gets carrying a radioactive payload, gets hit by lightning, and crashes. And then we just jump for 40 years because fuck it, why not? And we get introduced to a Special Forces team on the USS Draco, and they're going to go on a mission to save an operative named Jamie Cole, who's aboard a thing with a dangerous arms dealer. It's a whole, they don't really explain a whole lot. They just kind of keep it going. It's not a well-made movie. But we do end up getting a really cheesy firefight because why the fuck be tactical when you're going to do this when you can just do whatever the fuck this is? Yeah, I don't nobody's even really trying. They're just kind of that dude just walked out and just died immediately. I don't know what tactic that is other than you're just really fucking bad at your job. But the dude who gets shot, the captain's all angry because his man died. But again, maybe if he was just better at whatever the fuck it is you're supposed to be doing, maybe that wouldn't happen. But our bad guy, our arms dealer, Azir, he ends up making it off, obviously, and he takes Jamie with him, and they go to a nearby island, the only fucking place that they can go, because movie convenience. And it's supposed to be a tropical island, but as somebody who is currently at a place that is tropical, this is anything but tropical. Why don't you take a look? This is clearly just shot at some random location, because, I don't know any tropical island that's full of birch and pine trees, but okay. And it just has some really badly mixed in, rainforest audio. It doesn't look like that at all. But, I digress. It's not well made. But anyway, as the bad guys are running through, one of the men ends up tripping, and then for whatever fucking reason, he gets lost from everyone else, even though dude tripped for 2 fucking seconds, but now he's just fucking lost to the rest of the bad guy group. Classic B horror movie. I don't even fucking know. He's not even, But some of the men from the group end up having to backtrack, and they take out the SEAL team's boat, and doesn't really work out for them because they get jumped by raptors that we finally see. And I'm not sure why they see in black and white, but that's just a choice that was made. Anytime they show raptor vision in this movie, it's always black and white. And I don't really know why they do that, because we'll get into later, they don't even see well, apparently. But whatever. But then there are some of the SEAL team guys that end up going back to the boat to try to get some supplies. And, they see the last dude of the pair there trying to take off on their boat because he sees the raptors and he says, fuck that, I'm out of here, I don't care. But they shoot the back of the boat. Here's the thing. They shoot the propeller motor kind of like a regular boat motor, and for whatever reason, that just caused a massive explosion. It doesn't make any sense, but this movie doesn't make sense in general, so whatever. But we do end up getting another firefight because we cut back and we see their comms are all jitter-jabbery, like something's jamming them. And they end up running into the main bad guy group with Azir and the last man that he has. And we get another really crappy firefight, but Jamie finally gets free, and we get some dialogue about this. She's a CIA agent who was sent to hunt down Azir, and then things went bad. Her cover was blown fucking somehow. Again, they don't really explain a whole lot. They just kind of exposition things in dialogue, and they don't even do that well. So they're not really entirely sure how the hell that happened. But we cut to there was the SEAL team members who had cut back to take out the bad guys. There's only one of them because one of the guys got eaten, but he ends up getting jumped by raptors, and then we get some really bad effects. Why don't you take a look at that? See, this movie's not well made. Not well made at all. This is a for-made sci-fi movie. It even says sci-fi original made movie, and just goddamn, they really cheap out as much as they can. But anyway, the Raptors are just fucking tanks, because, I mean, just, god fucking damn, all that ammo used, and you managed to kill one fucking Raptor. But they end up having a whole debate about the Raptors can't possibly be alive.
Can you believe this? If I didn't know any better, I'd say these were Raptors. Which is impossible. Raptors have been extinct for over 100 million years.
Somebody forgot to tell them.
Yeah, I don't know. What are they? Just fucking iguanas? Like, what the fuck? What is this? Who was the writing dialogue for this fucking movie? Anyway, we end up cutting to the team. They double back. They find their boat's been deflated, which is a problem because they only have 20 hours left to like radio, and the radios are obviously, as we mentioned, jammed, and they have to deal with the Raptors. So, everything's just turning out kind of bad.
I don't even know where here is.
Why not just use your radio to contact them?
I would if I could, believe me, but so far I haven't had any luck. Something on this island is interfering with our radio signals. Outside of 200 feet, all we get is static. That's why we're moving inland to higher ground. Maybe we can make it to a point where I can transmit a signal.
Wait a second. Interference. That makes no sense.
Miss Cole, does anything on this island make sense to you?
God, this movie's just bad. But then we cut to Azir, who ends up seeing the dude who got lost before, his one henchman. He ends up getting just eaten by a bunch of raptors, and Azir just watches it because he's just kind of a dick. Like, didn't even bother helping at all. And the SEAL team catches up to that guy as he's getting eaten, and they waste a bunch of ammo and don't kill fucking anything. Just not a goddamn thing. But turns out they're at the wreckage from the plane that we saw earlier in the movie. And while they're in there, we get this just classic B-movie scene. And Hackett, our main leader of the group, says exactly what I was thinking.
What?
Skeletons. Ever since I was a kid, I've hated them. Bones. God!
You gotta be kidding.
Those are my kind of thoughts. Just, you gotta be fucking kidding me. But I was saying that about like this entire thing so far. But as they're checking the plane, they realize, there's a bunch of radioactive material that was being transported and it leaked out. And while they're doing all that, Azir manages to knife kill their other dude who was doing a patrol, and he takes all of his shit. But they want to secure the body, because, I don't know where you plan on taking it, whatever. But doesn't really work out, because, oh no, there's a tremor, because now there's going to be a volcano. Because raptors weren't enough. Gotta add in, there's gonna also be a fucking volcano. But, whatever. So they keep moving on. They find a cave, and they have a dude who's wounded because he got scratched by raptors earlier on. And they're like, he's not doing too hot. We gotta bandage him up and blah, blah, blah. Hackett goes off to go find some fresh water. And while he does that, Jamie's like, I'm gonna explore the cave because why the fuck not? And while she's exploring the cave, she finds an entire nest of raptors. The whole raptor den is in these caves. Because again, movie convenience for a B-movie that has no budget. You gotta make things work as best you can. And then we cut back to Hackett. It turns out Azir is also at the little, creek that he finds for fresh water, and they realize that there is one other thing on this fucking island. Of course, you gotta have a bigger dino, but don't make it a pair or any other animal, just raptors in this one. I would call it a T-Rex, but it's definitely not, and I don't even want to give it a name because it's just a generic bigger dinosaur. But anyway, Hackett ends up rushing back, and he gets back to his team because it's like we gotta get the fuck out of here. But while he's making his way back, Marcus, one of the other team members who's not wounded, he ends up going off to find Jamie because, why did she wander off? But also, you have a wounded man you're supposed to be protecting. But you're just going to leave your post, which they question that later. Like, why did he leave his post? Like, nobody fucking knows anything in this movie. But he ends up running into the raptor den himself and tries to double back. And he ends up finding a raptor and trying to run away. Meanwhile, the wounded team member has some baby raptors come up to him, and he just starts shooting them, because fuck him. And then we do a hard jump back to Jamie meeting up with Hackett, and then them being like, why did he run off? And then they try to go find, Marcus, because he cries out for help. But it's too late, because his ass gets jumped by 3 raptors. And then they're like, well, he's dead. Let's not waste the ammo. Probably the smartest thing you've said the whole fucking movie so far. And another tremor lets them know, hey, we need to get the fuck off this island. So the final 3 end up making camp because wounded guy's not doing so hot, and the radios are still jammed, so they're talking about, what are we going to do? Like, we got to get the hell out of here. But they realize they can't do a whole lot till first light. And the next morning, they keep moving on, and they just about get jumped. But they make the realization of, hey, remember those babies? They started eating each other, even though no one was there for that, so fuck you. So they shoot one and then try to run away, but they don't run away fast enough, and then the wounded dude makes a unneeded sacrifice. Pretty sure you could have all run through the swamp like Jamie and Hackett end up doing, but okay, dude stayed behind and died. That's, whatever. And then the mud, they make up some bullshit excuse of there's sulfur in it, and it like they're in the fucking Predator. The raptors can't see them because the raptor like sniffs her and then walks away. I stopped trying to understand this movie. You're better off that way. Just, better off. But the duo ends up back at the crash plane, and they try to have a heart-to-heart conversation and have character building. But we're over halfway through this fucking movie, so I don't give a shit to have character building now. Why you hate Azir? It's too fucking late for that. Shut the fuck up. And then back on the Draco, they're talking about, they haven't heard from anybody, blah, blah, blah. And then Jamie and Hackett, Jesus Christ. See, this movie killed my brain. Jamie and Hackett prepare to blow up the den, and they start making up a plan about how they're going to do it.
Gotta plant these charges close to the heart of the nest. If we can kill enough of those things, they'll be too busy attacking each other to worry about us for a while. Give us a chance to plot a rescue.
Somehow this kind of works. I couldn't explain to you. Again, this movie's not the best made movie you've ever heard of. And they decide to split up, and they start planning their charges so they can get all their escaped. Chopper gets sent off to go find because they see the island on radar, so they send out the chopper like, hey, maybe that's where they are. It's the only place they could have been. And we get a brief montage. They set up the charges, and Jamie ends up getting jumped by a raptor and falls in a hole deeper into the cave, which will come back in a bit. But Hackett finds a blood trail, thinks she's dead, leaves, sets off the charges because fuck it, she's dead. Let's not find a body or remains or anything. Let's see some blood and just assume. Yeah, see, and then they somehow the charges set off the volcano to erupt. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but okay. And the raptor den's flooded, and that's great. And then we cut back to Azir finds Jamie while she's unconscious, steals her shit, and then they try to have, again, more character development, and again, there's only about 10 minutes left. I don't fucking care about character development when the movie's almost fucking over.
You must feel right at home with all the savagery of this place.
Of course. You and the Western world think of me as a barbarian. You think maybe one morning I wake up and I say, today I become a terrorist. But if you truly knew the suffering of my people, you would see that they see me as a liberator.
Man, you could have done any of that any point sooner. But anyway, they end up, they keep going on. Hackett's running through trying to get away, and then Azir takes Jamie with him. They're going around. And Azir gives, reads my mind of how I felt with all this character building.
Blah, 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 blah.
My thoughts, Azir. Thank you. Jamie manages to escape once they leave the caves, and she meets up with Hackett, and they end up crossing a lava, tree over a lava river. And they kind of leave Azir to die.
You wait for me? It's just as you want, no?
And that's exactly what you're gonna get, Azir. Oh, and save your ammo.
What?
You're gonna need it.
I love how he tried to bid his way in there, I surrender. You want the justice, yes? Yeah, man, they're not gonna help you anymore. You killed all his men. I don't know what you thought was gonna happen there. But anyway, Jamie and Hackett make it to the coast, but just as the chopper flies away, and they're like, oh no! But then Hackett's like, I have one more grenade launcher ammo. I don't really know how this works, but he shoots it like a flare, and somehow that manages to work. But anyway, the chopper turns around, they get on it, and then Azir's not dead. Yet. Because then Bigger Dinosaur finally comes back, 30 minutes after it was introduced, one fucking time, just for this ending.
Maybe he wants to be liberated!
Yay! Azir gets eaten, he's dead, so, bad guy's dealt with. And as they fly away, the movie ends out showing you that raptors can apparently swim very far, because the island's gone, and they don't really specify how far away this is. So that's that movie. That's Raptor Island. It's boy, I found a whole treasure trove of made sci-fi movies, and they're all going to be about this bad. Some of them are a little bit better than others, but mostly they're this bad. But remember, everyone, stay out of the water. Don't dump chemicals in the sewer. Don't go into the swamp. Don't transport illegal animals. Don't leak radiation down into an island because it spawns dinosaurs somehow. Don't bury the dead under a road because they'll fucking kill anyone who comes on it. And I'll catch you on the next one. God only knows what hellhole I'm going to end up in next. Stay odd, everyone.